This is Review Team 3, or RT3, if you want to use the initials. I believe that is the correct one. So, I am Downloads Bacon, and with me is...
Feem, yeah.
And also...
C.C Trainor-Ling.
Are you guys excited? We are in Season 4!
I can't believe it's finally here.
After all that waiting.
A couple of months.
Finally paid off.
Yeah, man. I stared at the calendar every day, hoping that this day would come. And now it's here.
There's no more. And waiting. And waiting. And waiting is... Now it's here. Like he says.
We got them now!
Choose your episode. The Tortoise and the Hare.
So, guys, let's check it out.
Check it out!
Today's episode is the Season 4 premiere to Littlest Pet Shop, The Tortoise and the Heir. So the plot here is the pets think Blythe will never talk to them again after overhearing her conversation with young me. Meanwhile, Blythe ponders her life's calling, but not until a 150-year-old tortoise named Speedy Shilberg, with an interesting past, comes to the day camp and shares some life-changing information with her, as well as sending her and the pets on a chase through a construction site.
So, let's talk about the first major thing in this episode, Blythe. Blythe.
Here we have Blythe wondering what she's gonna do for the rest of her life, and let me be the first to say, I totally relate to her.
I think we've all had that moment in our lives where we wonder what we'll do, and especially at her age of being, teenager, I believe. I don't know what exactly her age number is, but she's at that point where you try to think of what you really want to do, because when you're a kid, it's like, what do you want to do? Like, firefighter, doctor, you just think of whatever, but when you get older, these things become more serious because time is, this time is getting shorter for you to really have this decision decided. So for Blythe, she's done a lot of great things in fashion and for the pets and everything. So she's trying to figure out what now. She wants more, in a sense.
She's doing aerial on us then.
I just find it interesting that this episode came out a couple of days after the Littlest Pet Shop original short, What's Next, premiered on the internet. And that short was about what Blythe was going to be doing next after her whole Pet Fest adventure. I just find it really coincidental that short came out days before this episode premiered, and this is an episode where Blythe is wondering what she's going to do next, besides fashion and, whatever she did in the previous 3 seasons.
It's very interesting that this is how Season 4 starts, and I know, it's a very interesting one. Every season has the main arc that, the season will have. That way, we have something to go on. But other than that, this one's very interesting, at least to me, because this is a really strong start for the season, because this one, we had the Pet Fest, we had the Pet Expo, we had Fashion University North. We come to this one, and now this one's a big one. This one's a heavy deal.
So we'll just see where Blythe goes from here.
I think this is one of the ones that, we have 2 kind of overarching plot points in this season, because, there's 2.
So now we come to the next positive of the episode. Well, you know what, how about you start it off, Feem?
Yeah. Well, everyone knows that I like me some Twombly. And, well, even though her scene was very brief with Blythe, and it's literally just her, with Blythe's, she's trying to get Blythe's attention, and Blythe is ignoring her, and then she's like, yoo-hoo, Blythe! And she's waving her arms in the air and everything, and then she just turns her head around. It's really funny.
The whole hand to the face. Apparently, it's like somehow we couldn't see her.
Blythe, can you see me?
No, Bacon, you can't see her. Because her name is Blythe Baxter!
And I like the face that she makes with Blythe totally ignores it. She makes this really sort of like, you ignore me, don't ignore me face. And then she goes on to obviously the yoo-hoo! And she's really hyper in this opening scene. It's really funny. And of course, she introduces our guest pet.
Ah, yes, Speedy, the 150-year-old tortoise, who, if I recall correctly, kinda has that Mr. Magoo feel to him throughout this episode. Has no idea what's really going on in the sense of his surroundings, and is mistaking dumb waiters for showers and thinking the pet shop is a bus station.
Really funny.
Yeah, he was really funny in this episode, but very interesting also with how many owners he's had. Because I mean, he had like 23 owners, if he stated, if we remember that scene correctly.
Yeah, he had a lot of owners over the course of 1.5 centuries.
Yes, you'll remember him for centuries.
Haha.
Yeah, but one other thing that was really interesting besides that was, it's kind of weird how he's able to go pretty fast at certain points. Like what Mrs. Twanley said earlier, is that he likes to wander off. And you think him being a tortoise, you'd be kind of slower. You wouldn't go that far, but that's surprising how far he'll get.
Especially when he wanders into a construction site.
It's actually a misconception. Actually, some tortoises can be quite fast. It's actually not true that all of them are incredibly slow.
I thought they were really fast swimmers, but kind of slow walkers.
I guess.
In this sense, I probably have to double look turtles and their research and all that. Turtle.
Oh, no. We are not resorting to that joke.
Speaking of turtles and other animals, we got the pets, who were incredibly awesome in this episode, especially Vinny.
My main positive with Vinny was actually because, none of the pets want to listen to what Speedy was saying, and Vinny's all like, we should listen to him, because he knows what he's talking about. So they kind of pets underestimated Speedy, and Vinny was the only one that didn't really do that. He actually wanted them to listen to Speedy, and they weren't really doing that.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool of Vinny to do that.
He's got his moments where he's, really smart.
That was a good Vinny moment.
Yeah, Vinny had a really good moment, especially his fantasy, when they hear how old Speedy is, and if they could live for 150 years.
Fast forward to the time of the Jetsons.
Going back to the future.
Oh, you so did not just make a joke.
Yes, we go to the Jetsons time, and everyone's got, replaced parts and, all this crazy stuff.
They're old, crotchety, and you have Blythe on these hover shoes, or whatever the heck you call those things.
I like Peppa's glasses and made her eyes look massive.
Yeah, it's sort of like in Palm Reader when she had the glasses on, made her eyes really huge.
Oh yeah.
And Jebby,
awesome.
And Jebby also had giant eyes when they put the glasses on her. Happens with every pet, apparently.
But it doesn't happen to Mrs. Twombly or any of the other human characters, I've noticed. Their eyes are turned giant when they put glasses on.
Curse their freakishly large heads.
After the awesome fantasy, we had really interesting moments after a lot of hilarious, comedy that happened with Speedy and all this. We learned that Speedy had an owner, one that caught the attention of Blythe, Betty.
Or Lauren.
Or Betty, who I think that was Betty here could talk to pets also. I don't know, caught Blythe's attention, and then we kind of learned that Betty is actually Blythe's mom, who was named Lauren, which I don't know how they got Betty from Lauren.
Yeah, I actually have to agree. How do you get the name Betty from Lauren? I'm just trying to imagine it back then when she was saying her new nickname. It'd be like, everyone, from this day forward, you will refer to me by the name Betty.
But isn't Betty a woman's name?
Just ask Roger, he knows all the answers.
Yes. The answers he is now barely talking about. in this season.
Yes, later on we'll learn more, and maybe we'll figure out how Blythe's mom learned how to talk to pets.
And maybe we'll actually see what she looked like.
Oh,
I mean,
man, that'd be great.
it'll be like, oh my gosh, she looked exactly like Blythe. Well, according to Speedy, she looks a lot like Blythe, so there is that. So imagine that's what she'd look like. And also, it's nice to find out that there's one other person out there than Blythe who can speak to pets. And this also leads me to believe that even the title, The Tortoise and the Heir, basically, I believe Blythe got her linguistic abilities from her mother. So it's like an heirloom, I guess?
Well, basically, she is the heir to the animal linguistics between humans and pets, so she got this from her mom. You know, heir. The heir apparent.
Even though most people speculated that it was the dumb way that caused it.
Well,
it's been disproven.
well, like I said earlier, maybe we'll find out how Blythe's mom was able to talk to the pets. Maybe she was dropped on her head as well. We don't know. We'll find out later on, hopefully.
Maybe we'll find out.
Yeah. My curiosity for Blythe's mom, has really just gone through the roof. But right now, I guess this season's got my attention a lot because it's a subject matter we've never talked about until now.
All thanks to Speedy's journal well, not his journal, but Betty's journal, that he's been keeping in his shell for how long? I don't know how he got the journal anyway, but, reasons.
Well, he did say he kept stuff in his shell for safekeeping or things, so I guess Betty or Lauren gave it to him when she still had Speedy as a pet, and, well, he looked after it, and he also stated that he wasn't going to let anyone else read it, so he probably just took care of it for her.
So, I suppose, other than the amazing moments of this episode, and Vinny being smart until he forgets the fact that he's lifting up a tortoise shell and not a rock, I think that's pretty much it for our thoughts, right?
Pretty much. I mean, I don't have anything to go against this episode. No negatives that I can think of.
No, me neither.
So, final thought time.
Overall, for me, I think this episode it's really good. It's a great starter for season 4. We introduce, the journal, a lot of cool things. It's after the expo, and it's a lot of soul searching for Blythe right now. So once we get this journal and we learn about Blythe's mom, it really at least points her to a right direction. At least something to do, to find out what happens to her mom, because she doesn't know and we don't know also. So I'm actually kind of hoping they do like a How to Train Your Dragon 2, where Blythe's mom eventually shows up and then she's like, oh, you can talk to pets, but I know more about talking to animals or whatever like that. If anyone here's seen How to Train Your Dragon 2, kind of get the gist of what I'm talking about. But other than that, this episode really caught my attention. I really want to see more, so that's a really good thing for this episode to do. The comedy worked, and it's a solid episode, but unfortunately for me, I just can't really see it being a 10 out of 10. It does have an emotional moment at the end, but no, I think I'll give this episode a 9.75 out of 10.
So on to my final thoughts. This episode is amazing, because I've been waiting with all us pet shoppers have been waiting for season 4, and then it finally came, and it really did deliver. With learning about Blythe's mom is one of the biggest positives I had about this, because it's something that the fans always theorize and always speculate about, where's Blythe's mom? Is she dead? Is she alive? Is Roger divorced? Where does she exist? So it's a question that hopefully will be answered this season, and hopefully it will have a perfect conclusion. Well, I'm going to keep this short and sweet, and I'm going to give my final score as a 10 out of 10 because of how amazing most of the episode was.
Now, as far as I'm concerned, out of all 4 seasons of LPS, this one has got to be my all-time favorite season premiere. The way it started off was really great. It's probably one of my most memorable season premieres to any TV show I've ever seen as of right now. So thumbs up to this episode. I really love Speedy Shelberg. Really funny. Him and his Mr. Magoo-like personality and going through the construction site. Funny stuff. The pets were great. The fantasy was really, really enjoyable. And the revelation of Blythe's mom, something that we've been waiting a long time to know about. We finally got it, and hopefully we get to expand more upon this as the season goes along. Because to wrap this up really, really quickly, I'll give this a 10 out of 10. Best season premiere to this series ever.
Nice. Well done. Alright guys, well I guess that wraps it up here. So let's...
New challenger. Pitch Purrfect.
Oh, well I guess we have another episode to tackle down. So, I guess let's check it out.
Check it out!
So, our next episode in this dual review is Pitch Purrfect. So the plot here is after being rejected by Delilah and her feline-only singing group, Zoe enlists the pets to form her own group to compete in the A Cappella Championship. Meanwhile, Blythe is too distracted by her mother's journal to help search for Mrs. Twombly's missing doorknobs, with Russell and Minka hot on the trail.
So the first positive would have to be Zoe, because, hey, turns out all that singing she's been doing, Dance Like You Know You Can, all that actually got her into an a cappella group. So it's actually pretty interesting. Right, guys?
It really is.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those first times in a while we've seen Zoe really do anything with her talents.
Yeah, because with Zoe, her talents are usually like singing. I don't know if dancing. I don't know if that would qualify.
Fashion?
Yeah.
Modeling.
So she's a model and a singer.
And a show dog, but that's kind of the same thing. Anyway, it's also good to know that she was also a show dog even before the series began, seeing that she was in a pet food commercial, her first ever audition. It's interesting that she had the same appearance then as she did in the flashback in The Loop.
Still wearing the beret. Still, I think it's her trademark thing,
Yeah.
I don't know, it's interesting to me. Even when she was really young, she still had the beret. But it's kind of weird. Something that my brothers told me also is that it works so well on Zoe that you can't really. It seems so weird when she doesn't have it on, like the beret. So even in the flashback, she still has it.
Yeah, I'll agree, because I've seen art the more special magazines where Zoe doesn't have the beret on. It just looks weird. This doesn't look right.
I guess in her words, she does feel naked without it.
She does.
It's like us at one point when we all had some kind of attire on our arms, like bracelets or wristbands or something cool that we used to wear a lot. I know when I was a teenager, I'd wear wristbands, because I was in a band, so I was like, looks cool. Playing the guitar with that. But of course, I'm not going to say why I stopped wearing it, but it kind of felt weird when I started removing the wristbands. I guess that's how it is with Zoe, is that she has to have that hat.
It's kind of like that bracelet I'm always wearing, which I had to take off during these reviews.
Yeah. But Zoe was awesome. But I really, really like the songs in this one.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
First song, Not Every Star Is in the Sky. That was great in my opinion. Zoe doing like a quartet with Pitch Purrfect. We saw that in the promo to season 4, and I thought, okay, is this going to be like a real thing, or is this going to be a fantasy? Well, turns out to be just a fantasy, but hey, even in fantasy mode, that is a great song. It's quickly rising up on my list of best Zoe songs in the series. And, well, also Delilah's songs, if you can even say this is part of Delilah's.
Can I just say the notes Kylie hit in that song? I mean, her singing's really amazing anyway, but when she hit all those really high notes, I was just like, whoa, she's going even better. And it's I didn't even think that was possible, because Zoe's already really good at singing, and to her to get even better, it's just wow.
Hey, you want high notes? Just listen to her rendition of Hardy Time with the other pets. Now, those are some of the best high notes Kylie Epp has ever hit in this series.
Yeah.
Agreed.
I agree, totally.
I just love that version so much. You have a cappella, Sunil, Vinny, and Penny with Zoe, as in, there's no stopping us, meow. And just the way the audience was so enticed by the song, even the judges, it just shows you just how committed Zoe was to this, and just how much talent she's really busting out just to win that trophy.
I got like major Glee vibes from that song for some reason. It just reminded me like how they do the harmonies and everything, harmonizing. It was just very, very Glee to me, but that's a good thing, because just how it's nice. We haven't had this style of song in the series before. I at least don't think we have. So it was a nice little change to hear a different style of song.
Yeah. Well, for me, it reminded me of the movie, because I've seen the movie Pitch Purrfect. That's not my favorite, but it's really good for what they can do with acapella.
And it was really cool that they even brought out some of those laser lights, make it look like a laser light show. That was cool.
Which the cats loved.
Yeah. Well, obviously the cats are gonna do it.
Yeah, it was awesome. Just jumped at it.
But speaking of cats, let's move on to the next positive. Pitch Purrfect, the group, with Delilah, Mila, and get the other cat.
Shyla?
Shyla and Banty. No, wait, no. I forgot the other one's name, actually. There was a fourth one, right?
Kyla? Was it Kyla?
Or something. One of them left because they had a litter of kittens, so that's why they had to get Fluffy in there.
Fluffy, who I realized is actually voiced by Kathleen Barr. I didn't realize that until the end credits of the episode. Just throwing that out there.
Yes.
But it was nice to see Delilah come back, because I loved Delilah in Pet Expo, because she was just a really adorable character, and it's nice to see like a proper Cockney character in it.
Yeah, I know this might not be the best thing to say, but maybe, I don't know, I'll throw it out there just to see where it lands. Is that comparing the first song she had to this one, I still think All Around the World was just a lot better.
I agree with that, actually.
You know, Daniel Ingram taking a shot at acapella and doing pretty good at it. It's a really interesting matter to touch up on, because it's only recently gotten popular. It's really confusing, because for me, the only exposure to acapella that I got was to, I think his name is Smooth McGroove, who does acapella like for video game music, but that's where I first heard of it.
Let's see, you have to choose between Pitch Purrfect and Note Stopping Us Meow. Who really is better?
Oh, that's so hard! You're making us decide? I can't. I honestly can't decide, because I like different things about each of their voices, because I like Zoe when she hit all the high notes, and I like the Cockney sound of Delilah's voice, so I can't really decide between the two. That's just me.
Yeah, both of them were pretty good, but then again, I think all of them really liked the song because they're like, hey, I think we've heard that song on TV before. Way back when.
In the day.
Yep, back in the day. Alright, well, I mean, Pitch Purrfect's one thing, but I'm not really sure what Minka was referencing there. The little lab coat gear that she was going. I was thinking more of CSI, possibly. What do you guys think?
I think so.
I thought CSI, but I was honestly just reminded of Rick from Rick and Morty, but I don't know if that's what they were referencing.
I don't think so, because Minka would be just, drinking like banana juice or something. No, I was just gonna say drinking banana juice and just burping profusely. Be like, Russell, we need to find the... just burping like that, kind of. My Rick, ladies and gentlemen, not that good.
I don't think Russell Jr. I think it was what was Russell reference to? Because I thought at first a reference to the 10th Doctor from Doctor Who, but I might be wrong on that.
Yeah, probably not, because otherwise he'd be walking around with a screwdriver.
I don't think he's referencing House. I don't think so.
I think he's just trying to just be a crime scene detective, getting so serious about missing doorknobs.
It's because they're doorknobs.
Yeah, freaking out over missing doorknobs, getting the other pets to try and look for them, especially Pepper, who decides to look in the trash, but you don't really find the doorknobs, you just see that you're just really good at separating your recyclables. Yay, Earth!
Yeah.
I love that scene. It's just like, and then I like her disappointment at the end, and she's just like, yeah, I'll get back to sorting out.
Man, I would have just loved it if they would have done some kind of like interesting intro to this part where they're they find out Twombly's doorknobs are missing, then they kind of do like the very serious kind of like narration or something like that.
Law and Order?
Yeah, like that, possibly. Because they already referenced I believe it's, which one's the one that, Miami Vice, right? The one that does like the pun and then
the glasses.
The glasses, yeah, because Blythe's nailed it.
I think the one part of that subplot with the missing doorknobs that really got my attention was when Russell is trying to figure out who was the person or pet that stole the doorknobs. He's going through the pictures and he always says, there's only one possible suspect, and it's a picture of him. Like, what? Okay. How do you go from Twombly to Roger to missing doorknobs to Blythe to you as the thief of the doorknobs?
He was probably like, the only culprit is one who is the favorite of all. One who could get access to every location. One who's pretty intelligent and really awesome.
Mm-hmm. It's always the hedgehogs. Book 'em, Minka.
I freaking love that when Minka like handcuffs him and then she's taking him in and he's like, me, I didn't do it.
That face.
Oh man, that part made me laugh super hard. Just the face and the delivery was perfect. And I just love how Minka was easily convinced and just, okay, takes it off.
Because first she knew it was actually Russell that was behind it. He hypnotized Twombly into believing that she sold them when really he was the one that stole them. Dun, dun, dun.
Those damn favorites.
I want to remain the favorite. I've got to hypnotize everyone to believe what I believe.
In a world where hedgehogs are untrustworthy, this hedgehog will steal doorknobs and, I guess, sell them. I don't know what hedgehogs would do with doorknobs.
He sold them to Tess.
He sold them to Fisher. He's a double agent.
Like Scout.
No.
I knew it. Minka was right when she said, "Are you a spy?" She knew.
Now it all makes sense.
But don't worry. All he has to do is say, "I didn't do it," and then it's okay. Easily convince Minka. Well, speaking of doorknobs and Mrs. Twombly, what about Mrs. Twombly, guys?
Yeah.
Mrs. Twombly taking a little bit of a risk here, she's finally doing her big project.
Littlest Pet Street. And how do you finance it? You sell off your precious doorknobs.
She's like, apparently these doorknobs were worth like $1 million, and I just had them there.
That you paid $1 million on the internet to buy.
So,
She might not have done though. She might because they might not have been worth as much when she first bought them. You don't know how long she's been collecting them for.
Good point.
she's like, this doorknob was the doorknob on the first pet shop, the one that was made by Henrietta. Is that her name?
Henrietta.
Henrietta. Yes, this was the original
shop.
This was the original doorknob.
But just but just to sell them off, just to make this project, that is probably one of her best moments, if not the best moment that she's had up until this point. To think these doorknobs have really served their purpose, like helping Blythe get to the Pet Fashion Expo, and now to make a whole new section of shops for pets and their owners.
It's gonna be pretty awesome because I know by the end of the season we're gonna see this pet street and it's gonna be so awesome. It's gonna be so hype. Yeah!
So
it totally is. It's just, and then she surprised Blythe with it. So that was really adorable. She was like, it's a surprise! And don't forget the jazz hands when she was doing that thing. Little jazz hands. And then the poet Blythe was just pushing out the door. I just found that really funny as well, because she's just pushing out the door. It's like, no, totally not let in. You're really tired and stuff. She was just letting her push her out the door. It's really funny. Then she stopped and she was like, I've got a surprise.
Surprise.
Well, I guess here comes my surprise. I have some negatives in this episode.
What?
Oh, Calm down, just let me explain.
No!
Explains anyway. My first nitpick of this episode would be Russell's consistent nagging to Blythe about looking for the doorknobs when Blythe wants to read the journal. Now, I understand that these doorknobs are missing, and Blythe promised to look for them, but just the way I'm looking at it, this journal to Blythe should be a little bit more important than these doorknobs. At least I think I think that's what it should be. I mean, this is something that Blythe has been wanting to know for a long time, and now she's getting her answers for it. I think by comparison, these doorknobs are not really as significant as finding out what happened to her mom.
Until you learn that those doorknobs are worth millions of dollars. Millions of dollars.
Shut up, Titus.
Millions.
Let's see. Well, they all had their priorities. Russell and Minka, surprisingly, wanted to find the doorknobs and treat it like a serious case, while Blythe just wanted to know more about her mother, Betty. And I don't know if it's been told or if it was stated in the episode of how long it's been. I don't know. I guess it would be a whole day, so I think Blythe would have at least some time to read through the journal. If it's been like a day or two, then I would assume that Blythe went through the entire journal already, by how intrigued and invested she was in it. So maybe Russell thought that she already had read it and is just still reading it again.
But then again, it did look like a pretty big book, and who knows if all the pages were fully filled up or not.
It's probably bigger than a Harry Potter book.
Say.
I don't know if it'd be able to do that, but, who knows? 1,000 pages.
Well, that takes care of that nitpick. My other, I guess, complaint of this episode would be Delilah forgetting that Zoe was a dog. Now, I don't know exactly how long it's been since the expo, but I just can't really believe that Delilah genuinely forgot that Zoe was a dog. It was just by the way she said it, it sounded rather smarmy and that she really did know that Zoe was a dog. And the way she was treating Zoe in this episode, this isn't what we saw in her debut in Expo Factor. Now, I guess to be fair, we didn't really know much about Delilah in Expo. But really, as far as I was concerned, Delilah didn't seem like the kind of character that would just hate a character or just have a distaste for them in any way. I just didn't pick up on that at first, and I didn't really think it would happen. But obviously we see it now. And just to snub Zoe just because she's a dog and not a cat for Pitch Purrfect, I get how it sets up the conflict, but it just doesn't really sit right with me.
Yes, it has been some time since, we've seen Delilah, I think about a whole season, so it's been a lot of time. You see, other than that, I mean, it might happen that you forget sometimes. Delilah probably, since she's really busy also, because she has stated in the expo that she is really busy, so it's possible that, again, I'm going to be using that word one more time, that she was really busy, had a lot of stuff on her plate, and, just kind of forgot. And remember that Zoe's a really good singer, so invited her, but then she forgot she was a dog. And I guess the group is a cats-only thing. I mean, you can be a great singer, but if they want these, like a certain type, or if they want, if it's like a barber a cappella thing, but you're dressed up like a samurai, why not? It's they're gonna want you to be kind of a barber style singer, They just have their own set of rules and set of things that they want.
But I think that when Delilah saw Zoe there, I don't understand how it didn't suddenly click. Wait a minute, Zoe, you're a dog, so what are you doing here auditioning for this feline-only group?
That is true, she could have just said, but then it would have came off even worse. She would have been like, Zoe, leave, or Zoe, like that, and then Zoe would be like, why? And it's like, well, it's feline-only. We would have had a completely different conflict and a different outcome, possibly.
Well, yeah, I already knew that that's how it would have run down anyhow. I'm just saying that it just didn't really seem to click well with me, just the whole smarmy attitude that Delilah had. I'm not saying that she's really a bad character, I'm just saying that it's basically shedding a new light on her that I didn't really think we'd ever see from her.
Yeah, we didn't get that much time with her, so we only got to see just little good things. So, of course, we got to see just the whole character. We gotta see, the goods and bads, and just kind of learn to how they are. We got a little bit more of Delilah, so we get a little negative here. Just to make this character more whole, more complete. Know what I mean?
I guess.
I know everything.
Sure you do. So, anything else?
I could add something. Though Delilah acted a little bit different from her prior appearance, but I kind of just thought that she was kind of building Zoe up, sort of thing, to kind of like how in Lost of Luck when Old Bananas did that to like Pepper to try and prepare Pepper for the game. I'm thinking maybe Delilah was doing that, but in a different way. I don't know if anyone else thought that, or is it just me?
I don't think so. But then again, it is possible that did happen.
And there's points of view that we can look at it. There's many different angles, but we'll look at it from this one, you'll look at it from that one, and that's how we do it,
I guess with that in mind, we can go right on to those final thoughts.
Yes, sir.
So overall for me, Pitch Purrfect is a really good episode, a good second episode for Season 4. We continue from where we left off from Episode 1, obviously, right? That's how this one works. But again, to talk about Delilah just for a little bit, is that I don't see her attitude problem thing. I don't see why anyone who previously liked the character should hate the character now. Because this is just making the character more complete, and also, like I stated earlier, this could have been a lot worse, dealing with certain, race kind of things. And for a show like this one, we really don't want to touch up on that. So, while the group was a cats only kind of thing, I mean, it's understandable. She forgot that Zoe was a dog, but she knew that Zoe sang well, and actually let her still audition because she's her friend. And didn't want to throw her out because if she wowed the others, it would have been great, which they did wow them, but unfortunately, no.
Conflict has to happen. Conflict has to happen. Conflict has to happen. Conflict.
Also, the other variable that I'd like to play in is that time for them is a lot longer compared to us. You know that famous line where pets don't have a good sense of time? Yeah, I think that can play here. Also, I didn't really sense any animosity between the two. And it was like a competition, nothing bad. They weren't against the idea of Zoe doing good in the song. So Delilah's still pretty cool for me. She's still one cool cat. Hashtag Delilah is a cool cat. In regards to stealing the song, we all know that Delilah didn't steal the song. I mean, she wanted to make sure that the others asked, but of course they forgot. So nothing against Delilah here, and nothing against Russell or Minka also, because they're just really into what they're doing. And also, if someone stole from the pet shop, I don't know, it makes the pet shop not the safest place in the world, and it would make them very, very concerned. So I think that's why they really wanted to find out who did it. Now that way they can just feel a little bit more secure in this location. So with that in mind, this episode was not perfect. It was a feline fine episode. It was good when I watched it, and it's still good even thinking about it right now. So, the Littlest Pet Street will be something that we'll be looking forward to later on in the season. I guess with that in mind, this episode had some funny moments, some good stuff, good singing, but I can't see it becoming a 10 out of 10 or even a 9.9, so I guess I'll give this episode a 9.5 out of 10.
What did I like about this episode? I like the return of Delilah, for example. That was good, because I love that little kitty. Even if she wasn't exactly at her best here, I still think she was a good character. I liked Russell and Minka doing all their detective-y things, and just Pepper being adorable. The references and the songs, and well, my main thing that I love in this episode was Mrs. Twombly, because it shows how unselfish she truly is and how she really wants to help others with her abilities to be a business lady. And we're seeing another side of Twombly as well that we haven't really seen much of. It's more of a business side, and I quite like that. So cool. She sold her beloved doorknobs. But this episode had good songs, good Pat moments, and good Twombly moment, and that's basically all I can say about it. I'm going to rate this one a 10. I'll rate this one a 10. 10 out of 10. It was a good episode. I liked it.
Now, as for me, Pitch Purrfect, pretty great episode coming off from the season premiere. Seeing Russell, Minka, and of course Pepper doing their investigation of the missing doorknobs was priceless. Zoe's singing with her own a cappella group to win the championship, really great. Loved her rendition of Party Time, and her rendition and Delilah's of Not Every Star Is in the Sky. And of course we have Mrs. Twombly selling her doorknobs. A very great sacrifice, very, very commendable. Other than my negatives, or nitpicks, if you will, nothing really too bad about the episode. Really great, so I'll give it a 9.2 out of 10. Well, folks, that concludes this dual review to the season premiere and follow-up episode of Littlest Pet Shop. Next week, we'll be seeing you for the third episode of Season 4, called Ivan the Terrific. So, hope to see you there. Until next time, this is C.C Trainor-Ling.
Feem.
And of course, downloads bacon.
So, we'll be seeing you next time. Peace out, home slices.
Cheerio, darlings. And have a perfect day or night.
And of course, we'll be seeing you in the next episode. So, thanks. And thanks again. Meow.